One story that did not get a lot of attention was the oil drilling that was going to take place in the Arctic Ocean at two crucial places. A big win for environmental groups in this country. They have forced the Obama administration to see the light, and the Interior Department has decided, no, we're not going to drill up there. Co-founder of 350.org is Bill McKibben. Bill, good to have you with us.
Ed, as always.
You bet. How big a reversal is this? I know that your group and a number of others were really on the administration to see the light on this, that this isn't the direction for the country or the globe. How big a deal is it?
I think it's a pretty big deal. There's 10 or 12 of these enormous carbon deposits around the world that the scientists have said quite clearly we better leave untouched if we don't want to completely screw our chances of dealing with climate change. So the tar sands is Canada is one. That's why one of the reasons everybody's been so up in arms about the Keystone pipeline. The Arctic is another. They make it very clear that we can't go in there if we're going to deal with climate change, and that's why there were huge numbers of people in kayaks and hanging from bridges and whatever else in Portland and Seattle as Shell set out about its work this year. Shell spent almost $8 billion up there exploring in the Arctic, and they said that officially that the reason that they're not going back was because they didn't find enough oil. But by now, a number of journalists have talked with enough insiders at the company to make it clear that however much oil they found a lot more trouble than they were looking for. And I think neither they nor the Obama administration wanted to be opening up the Arctic anytime soon.
Bill McKibben joining us today, co-founder of 350.org. Give us a snapshot of this Democratic race. Bernie Sanders seems to make climate change just part of his constant narrative, more so than the other candidates. Where is your organization on who should get the nomination, and who do you really believe would try to do something?
So organizationally, we're not allowed to say anything like that. The IRS frowns on that kind of thing. But since I'm not an employee of this organization, I've been doing my small part to help Bernie. He's not only is he, our favorite son here in the state of Vermont, where I live, and where we all know what kind of guy he is, but he's also been, as you say, very, very out front on these issues for a very long time when nobody, and I mean nobody in Washington, thought we had a chance on fighting the Keystone pipeline. He was the one person who really stepped up, turned his office over to those of us who were working on it, and he's been wonderful. I think the drama of the campaign so far has been watching him steadily push Hillary Clinton into, towards the direction of physics. On one climate issue after another. Hillary Clinton is now on record opposed to the Keystone pipeline, opposed to drilling in the Arctic, and opposed to lifting the oil export ban, not to mention opposed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's a quartet of important environmental positions that we're not going to be on her plate, I don't think, absent the strong candidacy.
There's no doubt. You take Bernie Sanders out of the equation, you don't have a reversal on TPP or Keystone or more climate talk from the Clinton campaign. Bernie has mission accomplished if he doesn't get the nomination, but holding Hillary's feet to the fire will be important. I mean, I don't know who's going to get the nomination. I think that Bill O'Reilly's off his rocker when he says that Bernie doesn't have a chance. I mean, this is a movement of strength. He continues to gain in the national polls. And if you look at it that way, we're a long way from Iowa, a long way from New Hampshire. And if he wins those two, it's a whole new ballgame. So who knows? That's got to give some encouragement to the environmental community, doesn't it?
Well, it all starting to. I mean, you remember 4 years ago, neither Barack Obama nor Mitt Romney mentioned climate change during their campaign. Neither of them felt it was in their interest to do so. This time, the Democrats, Bernie especially, but everybody else too, can't stop talking about it because A, at least Bernie deeply believes in it, and B, because they realize that it's probably the wedge issue par excellence against the Republicans come the fall. It's not going to be a comfortable place to be in explaining why you don't think chemistry really works,
Bill McKibben, north of the border in Canada, the Liberals have now grabbed the government. The new prime minister, is for Keystone, but he says Keystone is is just a small part of relations with the United States. Have you stopped the project? Do you think TransCanada is going to back off?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I doubt TransCanada will back off, but for 4 years we've stopped it, and more to the point, Ed, what's happened is people took heart from that struggle, and now, as one oil executive said not long ago, there's been a kind of Keystoneization of every fossil fuel project on the planet. People everywhere are fighting, and it's beautiful to see.
It is.
One in the Arctic, we just blocked the plans for the world's biggest coal mine in Western Australia. We've got fracking banned in dozens of places around the world now. It's not that we're winning the climate fight. You look at South Carolina with its once-in-a-thousand-year rainfall event last week, or Southern California a few days later, or the Philippines at the moment, and you know that we're still way behind. But there is a big movement out there now, and it's beginning to claim some political victories, and that's a good thing.
No doubt. Bill McKibben, great to join us. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and keep up the great work.
All right. Many thanks, man.
You bet. Co-founder 350.org.